What's good, everybody? Back once again, and let's go, Mr. Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker, the fourth. I've been calling this the whole time. I've been over here asking, I don't know how many games for a while, that I'm like, yo, why my boy Lonnie ain't getting no playing time? Why my boy Lonnie ain't getting no run? Throw him in for a minute. Just, give him some minutes, see how things go. Now, granted, when the trade happened, I understood that he gonna go to the bench, and it's like it sucks that you sort of like lost your spot in the rotation due to these new players. But I can at least get it of like, okay, let's see what these new dudes can do. Let's see how it all works and stuff like that. Then the playoffs, I was like stuff here and there, but whatever. By the time I got to like towards the end of the Grizzlies and then about like a little bit of Golden State, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, but some things I'm like, D'Angelo Russell's not cooking right now, and I'm like, if he's not cooking, there's no point of him on like on the thing. Like, he's not really running the offense. He's not really giving you any defense. He's not like athletic or nothing crazy like that either. Like, for instance, like Dennis Schrodinger. He at least he gets a couple baskets. He goes to the cup. He at least is trying to do something. And he can play defense. He got that long, crazy wingspan, stuff like that. Reeves is able to like to bring the ball up, initiate the offense, get a couple shots, three or whatever. Vanderbilt just strictly defense, but I was like, you could use a Rui. I was like, he ain't been playing great this series, but I'm like, he's long, he give you offense, and he could give you a little bit of defense as well. But I'm just saying, like, D'Angelo, mainly an offensive player. I'm like, just trade him out for another offensive player that's athletic. And guess what we got today? Yo, I was like, I might as well be coaching the Lakers myself. Okay, not a little too far. But I was like, look, even though the series is 3-1, this has probably still been a very entertaining, good series, and in a different way than like the Nuggets and Phoenix. The thing is that with Golden State and the Lakers, they're oddly similar in a lot of respects, even though we think of them differently. Like, obviously, they're different of, like, one's a physical team that's going to be, like, foul shot and in the paint. The other one is three-point shots. And they got a little bit better at, like, balancing out a little bit of free throws and stuff like that. But the thing is that, like, I was, like, seeing listening to a couple people and stuff like that. And like for instance, like the TNT crew or whatever, and they was talking about how, and you could see it, like the Warriors was like, they changed up their lineup again, and you could see like they're just like, all right, forget this, we're just gonna run, and we're just gonna expect y'all to catch up. And you've seen that several times, like in the third quarter, they just kept going on run, and even in the fourth quarter, they ended up going on a run as well, where it was just like boom, and they up by 10. But the Lakers just stuck it out, and they were able to get back. And then boom, another. I was like, it was crazy. It was like Golden State went up by 10, the Lakers ended up getting it down, and I think maybe even taking the lead. Then boom, they just back up by 10 again, and they were going back and forth. And they were saying that they were like trying to outrun the Lakers. Kind of got a bunch of old dudes, but that's sort of weird to me, just because from the aspect, like it's like because like they have old dudes, but they have physical old dudes. They have paint players. With LeBron, who ain't been shooting the ball well, so he's been going to the inside, he's been going to the rack, he's been driving a lot. That's exhausting on the body. Anthony Davis doing all these rebounds and defense and stuff like that. That's exhausting in a different way than Clay, and who didn't have a good game, and Curry, who had a really good Curry game, almost a great Curry game. I thought his shots at selection at the end, even though we know he can do that, I thought it wasn't that great. Now, granted, the first one on Anthony Davis, sure, but the second one, I thought they could have got a better shot. Also, I am really sick and tired of like the shooting the three and then spreading yourself out like the Jordan logo. I was like that stuff is like, it's like annoying to me, because I'm like they stopped calling, they sort of started calling it back. I get if you're underneath them or whatever, don't give them spots to land, but that stuff is irritating. Anyway, rant. But I thought at the end that they could have ran a better offense to get him. Now I get it. He's on Anthony Davis, so that's a matchup you feel like you're going to be able to win. I feel like the way that it was positioned didn't give him the same type of chance that, when they throw the ball around and they run or whatever and you end up on the big. That is because I'm like, Anthony Davis is already flat footed. He's already ready, and you're not really making him go anywhere. You really sort of just like step back a little bit more. Whereas if you would have been able to run, now he's over here. He's like, like his feet ain't set. He ain't ready to go. You got him a little more off balance. But I was like, but Lonnie Walker. I was like, dude, that wasn't getting no runs, just getting them garbage time minutes. And I was like, in the garbage time minutes, he was scoring. I was like, shout out to him because, other than I'm pretty sure, of like how he practices and, just staying in rhythm, like focus and rhythm how you normally do. But just the fact that in that garbage time, he was using that to be like getting his rhythm, showing him like I can still play in the concept of things or whatever. And in the last game, he didn't really take any shots, but I felt like that was just showing like, okay, cool. I'm gonna play defense as good as I can play it. I can hustle. I can bring in energy. Like just like I can work within the team concept of what we're doing, and still it flows right. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna get the trust here there for later on. Except for now, he sort of didn't have a choice. So like after a couple, like he had to shoot a couple of these baskets, like to be honest, to where, and then like after that it was like the three I felt like was a bit of a but he had to shoot that one. Coming off the out of bounds play, I was like he was so wide open he had to shoot it. But once it came to that one where he just dribbled all up and shot up in Curry's face, I'm like, nah, he got it right now. He got the juice. That's how it's gonna be, or whatever. Then I was like, Reeves showed up, which I was like, Reeves have been able to kick it up in the high gear quite a lot. I was like, he's had a couple of bad games, but for the most part, he's been pretty consistent. I was like, LeBron once again not having a great shooting game, but LeBron's so great and everywhere else that he makes up for it. And even though it's like you could tell he's old without telling he's old. It's almost like the whole thing, like tell me you're old without telling me you're old, except for like reverse of like I guess like show me how you old without being old or whatever. I was like I ain't gonna lie. There were several times I was just like, it was just one of the things where I'm like, I thought that Golden State was going to come away with this a lot more than, but at the end there was just nobody else. It was really just Curry on the island. Like Klay didn't have a good game. Poole wasn't even there. Moody kept on like fouling and just doing like some stuff that is like, I guess because even though he's been having moments, and been playing okay, but it's just like maybe he wasn't there. I thought they put I thought they should have put DiVincenzo back in there a little bit more towards the later portion of the game. Gary Payton got a little bit of a run. Then I just sort of went cold. And Green wasn't giving you nothing. He wasn't even giving me. He was doing okay on defense, but he wasn't giving you anything else really on offense in order to like. And I was like, you gotta have him in the game. But it was really like, except for those runs where we were doing a lot, where it was a lot of fast break transitions. That's the part that was really scary. It's the fact that I'm like that's cool. You get those points, but those points also aren't really like not. I was like able to be kept because they're like you get them alternative and stuff like that, and if you're not able to keep that lead, then how are you getting your offense? And the whole time it was a struggle tonight. Like even though Curry was going crazy with the passing and he had to do so much, and that's sort of why I thought the shot at the end might have been a little bit too much, because he's been doing so much. But at the same time, who else been shooting? Who else been making baskets? It's really been him this whole game. And I was like, and I was like, Klay been having, he been pretty good this series, and he just wasn't there. and Poole was just so empty that he didn't get any run really in like that second half at all. Um, yeah, and I was like, they still had a chance to win, and it's one of those where it's frustrating on both sides because it's like man, Golden State almost won, and it was all just Curry. But then it's also on this side that it's like the Lakers won and or the struggle, and Golden State didn't have nobody else. But then it's like, well, can they always count on Lonnie Walker to have that type of game with Golden State? So it's like on both sides, there's like reasons to be optimistic and pessimistic, except for now it's 3-1, and it's really more the same. It's really more over on Golden State now. Of you can't have no off nights. Granted, the Lakers got to come out and they got to play and they got to be ready to go because Golden State's going to be ready to go. And the thing is with Golden State is like what you don't have with everybody else is that like towards the end of the game, it was still so close that Klay was having a slump, and you still got to worry about everybody. Wiggins had some open threes and he just missed them, and it's like will he miss them again? Curry having an ill-advised throwing the ball out, nobody else called a timeout. Draymond Green just throwing the ball to whoever he thought was coming because he ended up getting pinned up on the baseline. It's just and the Warriors are always good for some turnover, some like crazy play that you just sort of think like they shouldn't have at especially at a championship level, but. No, it's really one of them intriguing games. Like sort of going back to my point that I'm like the Lakers got old people just like Golden State got old people. So the whole part about we're going to run them out because we have athletic young guys, and I'm like no, the Lakers got athletic young guys too. They got Rui, they got Vanderbilt, I was like I guess you could count D'Angelo and Dennis as that, even though I know they're more closer to 30 than the others, but they're still young. And you got Austin Reeves. I was like, you got people on the bench who I feel like they got Win Gabriel who's gotten some minutes, Lonnie Walker who's gotten some minutes, Troy Brown has gotten some minutes. Malik Beasley, he's been out of the rotation, but you got him as well to go with Moody. They don't play Kuminga, but they had him. DiVincenzo's still young. Wiggins is young. Poole is young. So that whole run, that whole like trying to out, like let's be honest, you're really just trying to like tire those two out compared to Klay and Steph, who does this running thing like it's nothing. Like if it was cross country, them dudes would be great in high school. Still, I was like, even though this series could be over, still a hell of a game. And every this is what I'm saying. The X and O's, the coaches matchup of who gets in the play and stuff like that, and their team being so similar and like young guys, old guys, championship, veterans and stuff like that is a different mix than Phoenix and the Nuggets of that being the fun series versus this being a fun series, even though this one looks like it could be over. Just talk about the other game for a little bit. Jimmybutler and the crew. I swear, I was like, ankle what? Ankle who? That doesn't bother Jimmy. He still came to go. Bamadebayo or Anthonydavis. I was like, he came to play, and then you always try to figure out who that next person that comes up. Kyle Lowry been pretty much consistent this whole thing, and tonight it was Strus, and calebmartin gave them a joke as well. I was like, and I was like, he's been pretty consistent because we don't think of nothing crazy with him. Gabe doesn't slow down a bit, and so it's Duncan, but there's still threats. I would have thought that this would have been way more evenly matched though, and I don't know if that's because Jimmy Butler, which I would say is like that much of a better player than the three of the Knicks, but they were so close to beating them where this could have been a sweep that it's like, because the thing is, the culture of the Heat and the Knicks not the culture of the Knicks, but how the Knicks play is very similar. Heat is all about, like, we're gonna play fundamental basketball, we're gonna play team basketball. We all, they're very regimented, they're very strict, they're very, and they play hard and they hustle and they play with energy and defense. Well, the Knicks also play with hustle, defense, energy, and it just seems like the Heat is the main version, and the Knicks are trying to be the 2.0, and except for the 2.0 ain't working here. But you would think that Brunson and Butler will wash out. You would think that Randle and Bam will wash out, and then that means RJ and somebody who else plugged in. But then you would think like Quigley hasn't really been playing great. Toppin hadn't really found anything in this series like he did in the last. Josh Hart had an off game today, and it's like a lot of the Knicks no name haven't showed up in this series in the same way that the Heat no name have. Now, difference also in that too is that also everybody pretty much on the Heat is battle tested. They have been pretty much in the playoffs. Pretty much majority of them have been here for the last 3 years. Ever since they was in the bubble. So whereas the Knicks, the last time they was in the playoff 2 years ago, that was a lot of these guys' first year that wasn't getting that much play. So now here it's just so I was like, I thought it would, like I said, it'd be more even. I can't even necessarily say on paper that you would think that, I guess, the big three of them would beat the Heat. That you would think maybe over time they'll wear them out, but they that they might get wiped on the board, and they haven't really been getting crushed on the board. They was earlier, but it's still been a close game where they've been winning, obviously. So, I thought that series was going to be a lot better, and it really seemed like from the tip off, it's really just Heat the whole time to lose. And if they're not in New York, you don't feel at all that the Knicks got a chance, and they haven't had a chance. So that one sucks. That one's not as close as that one should be. But hey, we're gonna see how Jimmy Butler get to do against whoever wins his next series, and that's gonna be mighty fun because this one's a wrap. Once again, Lonnie Walker, my boy. I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm staying on this island. I've been saying it. I was like, it's going along, but hey, that's what you get when the fourth comes out in the fourth. Ooh, I was like, I don't know if that's a bar, but that's certainly writing material. Anyway, if you liked anything I had to say, then thank you. I appreciate it. If not, you get these Lonnie Walker buckets. Now I'm just playing. Maybe next time. Especially if Lonnie gets scoring like that. Okay, I'm off of that. Or you can check out some of my other stuff. Like my videos where I was talking about Lonnie Walker. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not getting off of this. Anyway, that's it for me. Peace. I'm out.